entry doors, patio doors. Maybe you have a sunroom or you want a new custom front door and windows to maximize the beauty of your home. Peach offers flexible financing available to fit any budget. They've got expert installation, including fiberglass doors, which are their specialty, and they'll replace your windows with the highest energy efficiency rating.
And customer service is a top priority. It's the reason why they have so many 5-star reviews on Google. You can check it out for yourself. You can also check them out online at peachbuildingproducts.com. You can call for a free in-home estimate, 801-566-1255.
Or see them in person, 2940 South, 300 West in Salt Lake City. They're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Go check out their beautiful showroom. It's Peach Doors and Windows.
When should you file for Social Security to get the most out of your benefits? Get the answer in a free report, your guide to filing for Social Security in 2025 and beyond. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, get your free report now by calling 801-251-1046, 801-251-1046. There's more to maximizing Social Security than filing for your benefits early or late. This free report details all of the different things you must consider that could help you get the most net income from Social Security. Wring every nickel out of your benefits that are rightfully yours. Get your free report now by calling 801-251-1046. That's 801-251-1046.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house, whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed. Call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
KSL News Time, 12:55. It turns out if you have the same attitude as your partner about money, your relationship will be better, with one exception.
In a new study from BYU, researchers found a person's attitude about money could be put in one of 4 groups, called a money script. This is a deeply held belief or attitude a person has developed about money starting in childhood. They found if you feel similarly about money, the couple will have an easier time talking about finances and be happier in their marriage, unless both couples feel like money brings happiness. Researchers say they believe if more people realize how their scripts are hurting their relationships, they may be motivated to change. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's Money, the owner of Google and Apple shares fell 7% after the Apple services chief said that they think AI search engines will eventually replace standard search engines like Google and Bing. Bloomberg reports searches on Safari declined for the first time in April. Number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell last week despite all the uncertainty around tariffs' impact on the economy. Jobless claims fell by 13,000 in a week. The Dow up by 526 points, more than a full percent, sitting at 41,639. S&P up by 72. NASDAQ up 320 points.
Hey there, I'm Phil Briggs, Navy veteran and host of CBS Eye on Veterans weekly radio show and podcast. And over the years, I've loved sharing military stories with my neighbor Greg, a battle-tested former Army Ranger. He's a barbecue master and always welcomes us over. As it's Military Appreciation Month, Navy Federal Credit Union wants all active duty, veterans, and family to know that they're always eligible to join. Because at Navy Federal, our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Homegrown Home Loans. Ricky?
Still some slowdowns northbound I-15 going through Roy and Riverdale for Weber County drivers. An accident in Davis County southbound I-15 in Woods Cross, but completely out of traffic on the right shoulder. Also on the right shoulder is the crash northbound I-15 in Salt Lake County prior to 6 South, and the backup it was causing has cleared. Another true David versus Goliath miracle movie from director T.C. Christensen. See Raising the Bar, the story of high jumper Alma Richards' journey from rural Utah to an Olympic gold medal in theaters now. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 79. Temperatures climbing from here all the way through Sunday, where we will reach 87.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
A major announcement. The first American Pope in history.
And that's part of the weight that the new Pope has to bear. He has to be a father for these people from all over the world, from different cultures and languages and experiences.
The time is 1 o'clock on Thursday, May 8th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, more on the new Pope and reaction from the Vatican and reaction here in Utah. Also this hour,
but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Diamonds are great, but oof, they break the bank. We will talk about Mother's Day gifts on a budget. But first, our top stories. We are hearing about the new Pope from someone who knows him. ABC News contributor Father James Martin says he knows Pope Leo XIV.
He's a wonderful person. I got to know him at the Synod. He's very down to earth. He's kind. He's very humble and very soft-spoken. One of the interesting things is that he was prior general of the Augustinian order. People would know that mainly in the United States from Villanova. Being prior general means that you are someone whom the entire order looks up to.
Catholic Community Services reacted to Pope Leo's election with a social media post celebrating the news. It went on to say that Catholic Community Services will pray for the new Pope to have wisdom and compassion and be motivated by charity. We'll have more on what our local Catholic church leaders have to say coming up. Other local stories we are following. Utah exported millions of dollars of goods last year, but international tariffs are complicating what that number could look like this year. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The state sent out more than $18 billion worth of goods to 201 countries, according to the Utah International Trade Report from the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute. That's a 12% increase over the past 10 years. But senior research fellow and lead author John Downen says right now they don't know what to expect in the future, and some of Utah's businesses are already trying to mitigate the effects of the tariffs.
They're already sort of starting to hold off on investment decisions, on hiring more staff. They're sort of waiting until the uncertainty is resolved to an extent.
The UK was actually the state's biggest trade partner last year, receiving 97% of the state's $8.1 billion gold exports. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
A new study from BYU shows that most couples who feel similarly about money are generally happier unless they feel like money brings happiness. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
The study looked at over 1,000 married couples and sorted each person's feelings about money into one of 4 categories. They found couples who had the same general attitude towards money communicated better and are happier in marriage, except for the group that felt they always needed more and that money brings happiness. The study concludes that even if people don't realize it, their attitudes about money can affect their conversations with a partner.
And taking a look at your money at this moment, all the major indexes up by more than 1%. The Dow is up by 483 points. It sits at 41,597. S&P is up by 68. The NASDAQ is up by 308 points. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Homegrown Home Loans. What's happening, Ricky?
We have the accident northbound I-15 prior to 6 South on the shoulder. The backups it once caused have cleared, and the accident southbound I-15 in Davis County prior to 2600 South Woods Cross out of traffic. No lanes blocked. It's over to the right shoulder as well. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 79. Temperatures climbing from here by Sunday, 87 degrees, and not a chance of rain until Sunday. 75 degrees from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Behold, 'tis I, Queen Trustworth, sentinel for seniors amongst the Knights of Scamelot, here to give thee warning. Scams and fraud are on the rise in Utah, and seniors are especially under siege. Be wary of unsolicited texts, phone calls, and salespeople asking for personal or financial information, and never send money to someone thou hast only met online. If thou hast doubts, talk to someone thou trusteth and get educated at scams.utah.gov.
Buying a home can be challenging. Good thing Mountain America Credit Union is on your side. With our homegrown home loans, you'll receive the local guidance and friendly service to finance your dream home. Plus, for a limited time, you'll get a free appraisal. Apply for your Mountain America Homegrown Home Loan today. Details at macu.com/mortgage. On approved credit, membership required based on eligibility. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Some restrictions apply. Equal housing lender. NMLS ID 462815.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See you with the full details and disclaimer.
Thank you for tuning in to Midday with Maria Shilaos. Our goal to report the news and tell the stories of the people behind it. We'll be digging deeper and asking the important questions and sharing the stories that connect us all. If you're used to listening to Inside Sources at this time, thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll stick around. A new pope selected in the conclave and announced today, and not just any pope, the first American pope in history. The bells ringing through the Vatican as white smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel. News Nation's Robert Sherman describing the scene at the Vatican as this happened.
It feels as though in an instant, this whole city became alive and jubilant. And the energy here that you can feel, the chills running up and down your spine, it is just amazing to sit here and soak all of this in, from all the way down on the streets below us to hearing from St. Peter's Basilica behind us and those scenes that are taking place in the square within Vatican City itself.
Robert Francis Prevost chosen now to be called Pope Leo XIV. He was promoted to cardinal by Pope Francis and is said to have shared many of the philosophies of his predecessor, but he's also known for being soft-spoken and humble. The announcement in Latin coming from the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square as tens of thousands of people below cheer.
Habemus Papam.
The heart of the story isn't just rejoicing from Catholics worldwide, but also the historic nature of this being the first American pope ever. KSL 5 TV senior reporter Carol Makita covers religion and has met faith leaders from all walks of life. She joins me now in the studio to discuss more on this major move for the Catholic Church. So first of all, let me start with your reaction. I mean, what was your first thought upon hearing the news of the first American pope?
The same, I think, as everyone. I drew in my breath and said, really? How incredible a moment this is. But when you look at his resume, shall we say, he really has not been simply an American church leader. He spent a third of his life in Peru and serving among the very poor there, and then was brought by Pope Francis to the Vatican in some very significant roles. So he has more than the American part of him to bring to the Vatican, and I think that is what his fellow cardinals saw in him. His experience in education here in the United States and serving from time to time, but then his work as a missionary and as a bishop in Peru, and the very humble way in which he served, and his concern for the poor, as Pope Francis always had, and then bringing that experience but an intellect into the Vatican to help choose all of the Catholic bishops throughout the world. It was a huge and important role that he had serving next to Pope Francis for a couple of years.
Pope Francis, more liberal. Can we expect this new pope to follow in those same footsteps?
I think choosing the name Leo XIV. Leo XIII was known for social justice. I think that's no coincidence. And so I imagine he feels very strongly about that. And he spoke in his first speech about Pope Francis and what we are to remember about him. And so I believe he feels very strongly about that. Now, we shall see in the coming months how he feels about any number of things, because there are challenges that will come forward for him that he has not yet experienced, and how he will react to them will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, do we have any idea what his first major hurdle is going to be?
Well, I've heard the experts on the networks talking about the fact that there is serious persecution of Christians, but Catholics specifically in several parts of the world, and that Pope Francis in the last couple of years did not entirely, maybe because of his health, deal directly with those challenges in bringing the church along or helping the church know how to deal with that kind of serious persecution. So that may be one of them. I've also heard that as leader of the Catholic Church, one must also deal with the budget of the Vatican, one can only imagine, and that is a very, very difficult, it's a trying time right now, and how will he turn his attention to that, and what will his experience bring to that aspect of life for the Pope?
We don't often think about the Pope
we don't.
dealing with a budget.
We do
right?
not. No.
He doesn't have people for that, right?
I would think that he probably, and that will be another thing, that all will be watching who he appoints to certain high positions in the Vatican, as he was appointed by Pope Francis. That may be significant to watch as well.
It's been 12 years since Pope Francis was put in this position. I had forgotten all of the ceremony that surrounds this announcement. It gave me goosebumps. I'm not Catholic, but I got goosebumps watching what was going on.
The pageantry is absolutely magnificent. Someone asked me recently, is it as big as it appears to be on television, St. Peter's Square, St. Peter's Basilica? And I said yes. You draw in your breath when you are in both of these places. And so that will continue for a while. He will deliver Mass tomorrow, and then he will address a crowd coming up this Sunday. So those kinds of moments that include the pageantry will continue for a while. And then everyone is wondering where will he take his first international trip. I understand that Pope Francis had on his schedule a trip to America in August. Will Pope Leo XIV come to America? I'm sure that already the invitations are flowing, right? So we shall see. Where will he travel?
Anyone who watched The Conclave, the movie The Conclave, is thinking that this was going to take a lot longer than it did, that this was going to be quite a process. Does it say something about how quickly this pope was selected?
I believe so, yes. And as we were talking about the high-profile cardinals who perhaps the networks considered to be people who would rise to that position, he was on the list, but because he's an American, it's probably not going to happen, was the phrase. And I think we needed to look much more closely, because clearly in the position that he held in the Vatican most recently, he had collected the attention of his fellow cardinals, and they respected him greatly because it happened so quickly. And I think that speaks volumes.
Appreciate your insight. Thank you.
My pleasure.
KSL 5 TV senior reporter Carol Makita joining me. Stay with us. We'll be back with local reaction in just 60 seconds.
Hi, Susan. We haven't seen or heard from you.
Cold.
We would like to locate Joyce.
The mysteries that made podcast history
Cherie Warren disappeared.
are now together for free at kslpodcasts.com.
I'm Dave Cawley, the host of Cold. Join me for Season 1, The Susan Powell Case Files, Season 2, Justice for Joyce, and Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Listen anytime for free at kslpodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Jason.
And Kathy of Window World.
Mom, it almost happened again.
What almost happened, Jason?
A customer almost didn't choose us because he was shocked our prices were so low.
Oh, no. What did you tell him?
I told him I could charge him more if he wanted me to, or he could spend the savings on something awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. What did he say?
He decided to save thousands of dollars and get a whole house of amazing windows with Window World.
Call 281-8111.
Window World. Simply the best.
And as Doug always said,
that's no baloney.
We are continuing our coverage of a new pope announced today. Thanks for being with me on Midday. Utah Catholics rejoicing in the news of a new pope and the first American pope in history. Bishop Oscar Solis speaking at the Cathedral of the Madeleine here in Salt Lake City just a short time ago.
For us as Catholics, this is another surprise blessing from God, an awesome spiritual moment of deep gratitude and great joy, not only for us, but for the whole world. This marks a great milestone, the first American Pope, a chosen servant of servants of the people of God, not only among the Catholic Church, but across the globe. The manifestation of the unity among the cardinals to elect a new successor of Pope is quite surprising. I thank them for the great service of our church. In the name of the people of God in the Diocese of Salt Lake City, I humbly pledge my faithful obedience and loyalty to our new vicar of the church as he leads the church.
KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera has been at the cathedral since shortly after the white smoke began flowing from the chimney at the Sistine Chapel. Eric, tell us a bit about the reaction from those at the cathedral.
Maria, so, here at the Cathedral of the Madeleine in Salt Lake City,
there's been a steady stream of visitors, right? Everyone from curious tourists to local students roaming the grounds. And I also want to mention too, right? Couldn't be a more perfect spring day today, to be honest, for this to happen. The reaction has been really beautiful, right? As you can imagine, it was actually my first time inside the cathedral, and the atmosphere was like a mix of joy, awe, excitement, and even quiet reflection. It was very reverent inside. There was even students roaming the grounds with their teachers as they were waiting for it. So, and I was also just a few steps away from Bishop Solis myself. And what's interesting I wanted to mention was that he was actually streaming the event on his phone at the podium before speaking. So I thought that was really cool. You know, we're in a modern time now, right, where they can stream the video, right? All the way from the Vatican, all the way back here to Salt Lake on their phones. So I thought that was cool.
As you've talked with people, what have they been saying about the fact that this is the first American Pope?
Yeah, I think that's just it, right? As you can imagine, people are just overjoyed, right? Excited. They think it's like really a first, right? Because it is, right? And even the students, it's just beautiful to hear them talk about, wow, I was here when this happened. This is like really, really cool. Like the kids think it's so cool that an American was chosen.
Eric, thanks so much for describing this incredible moment.
Absolutely.
Joining us live from the Cathedral of the Madeleine, that is Eric Cabrera. The first finalized trade deal between the United States and a foreign country after steep tariffs went into effect last month. Analysis from trade experts coming up next. But first, KSL Traffic is brought to you by Mountain America's My Style Homegrown Home Loans. Ricky?
We still have some slowdowns in Weber County, northbound I-15 going through Roy and Riverdale, plus the cleanup of the accident northbound I-15 prior to 6 South out of traffic on the shoulder. Whipple Service champions your cooling, heating, plumbing, drains, and electrical specialist. Whipple that away. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, how are you feeling about your weight these days? I know for me, this time of year was really tough when I was carrying around extra pounds. So I want to tell you for a minute about Salt Lake City Fat Loss. This great program helped me lose more than 40 pounds. Not only did it help me take it off last year, but it's helping me keep that weight off. It's a great all-natural program. It boosts your metabolism with a simple combination of foods. You know, it's easy to follow because it's just that simple combination of foods, and it's all natural, no injections or surgery. You will really like this program. You can find out more about the great resources they help you keep accountable. They give you an app that has, daily ideas of how to be successful. Find out more. Save $200 off now on this program. Find out more with a free virtual consultation, slcfatloss.com, or you can call them 801-450-1882. Wouldn't it be great to lose up to a pound of fat per day? Just go to slcfatloss.com, slcfatloss.com.
Jeff Kaplan.
His Minute of News is great. It's always entertaining.
I listen to Jeff Kaplan every day. He gives you important news and traffic and the familiar voice that helps you enjoy the ride home.
I really like Jeff's Minute of News. He's calm and he's balanced.
I really enjoy driving home and just listening to what he's got to say.
Jeff Kaplan gets me home every day.
Join the community that relies on Jeff Kaplan. He has you covered. Afternoons from 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
Do you need new windows? Look, all glass pretty much looks the same to the naked eye, but if your windows aren't triple-coated, argon-filled and sealed double-pane glass, the cold is seeping in. You need to call Advanced Window Products. They use the highest quality glass and premium vinyl to create state-of-the-art windows and frames, and for 38 years, they build those frames right here in Utah. Custom crafted for Utah's climate. The best windows you can buy at prices 30 and 40% less than what the big companies charge because they cut out the middleman. They're the factory. They even give you a lifetime warranty, and right now as we head into spring, save an extra $2,500 off 10 windows or more. Custom windows that'll give your house a fresh new look and save you money on your heating and air conditioning. Advanced Windows offers 60-month 0% financing, even buy now, pay later, and an extra $2,500 off. Call for a quote. 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Did you hear?
A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
You are listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos. Thank you for being with us.
This is a really fantastic, historic day in which we can announce this deal between our two great countries. And I think it's a real tribute to the history that we have of working so closely together.
An historic trade deal today, the first major one between the United States and a foreign country during President Trump's second term. That was Prime Minister Keir Starmer speaking over the phone about that deal. Details won't be finalized for a few more weeks, but here's what we know so far. It will include billions of dollars in increased market access for U.S. exports, specifically beef, ethanol, and other farming products. The United Kingdom will reduce non-tariff barriers against U.S. products. The U.K. will fast-track American goods through customs. And a big one, no more tariffs on U.K. steel and aluminum, and a sharp cut to tariffs on car exports from 27.5% to 10%. President Trump speaking about the deal.
Once again, I want to thank Prime Minister Starmer. He's been terrific for his partnership in this matter. The special relationship and external bond. It's really an external and an internal bond between our two countries will soon be stronger than ever before. And we really do. We have a great relationship. I want to just say that the representatives of UK have been so professional, and it's been an honor doing business with all of them, and in particular the Prime Minister.
Joining us to give us more perspective and analysis on this is James Clark, CEO of ClearLink and honorary consul to the United Kingdom and board member at World Trade Center, Utah. James, thanks so much for being with me on Midday.
Hello, Maria. How are you?
Doing great,
Good
thanks.
to be on with you.
So what do you make of the deal, at least the early parts that we've learned about?
This is indeed a great day for both the United States, the UK, but also for the state of Utah as our largest trade partner by far. About 44% of our trade that goes out of the state of Utah goes to the United Kingdom. That's largely in minerals or precious metals. Some of those precious metals are used for things like creating chip manufacturing, of course, and other things that take place in the tech sector. And so it's a really great day for us to think about this largest trade partner of ours. It also sets a really wonderful example to the rest of the world, as goes the United Kingdom, so then goes the EU and what could follow there. So this special relationship could not be more special than it is today.
Yeah, I think that is so important to note, how this might affect further or future trade deals between the U.S. and other countries. How do you think it will do that?
It will. It resets this global sort of challenge that we have relative to our trade. This is reciprocal is all. I think our president is doing a fair job in asking for, indeed, that fairness across the board from all countries. And so he's done a good job of anchoring very, very high. And some of these tariffs you see at 125%. But that's also what's taken place also, for example, with British beef. If we were trying to import or export, rather, beef to Great Britain or to the United Kingdom, it's about 125% tariff there. Today, we can do that in a freer way or sort of in that 10% range as it's been set for. So that's a great bit of news for the American rancher and cattleman here in the state of Utah. Opens up doors and lowers these trade barriers. And it's good for British people. and for the great state of Utah as well.
I've been looking at the markets. The markets are up following this announcement. How is this going to help local businesses? I know that many businesses have seen their orders coming in slow down as people are concerned about the tariffs. What kind of message does this send to those businesses?
This is a message of certainty. It is giving certainty back to the market. Again, from a great leading power in the world, the United Kingdom, to step up and say, we're going to look towards free trade with America. Sets a great example to the rest of the world. Of course, the European Union is the second largest trade partner with America, first, of course, being China. But this sets a great example to the rest of Europe and then other developed nations. And I think others will soon follow, but it does add a degree of certainty that we've been missing. And that's what we can expect, sort of to reset this trade imbalance across the world, but today is a great step towards some certainty that we'll see in the markets.
Do you think this will have any impact on the talks between the U.S. and China?
That's anyone's guess at this point. It's not going to hurt. At some point, China needs to step up as well. They've got their own challenges in their country. They need us as much as we need them in this trade imbalance. And so, again, we've anchored high as it relates to the China imbalance. At some point, they've got to step up and get in line. It's just a matter of when, right? And I think that's all our president and what our country is asking for in this sort of trade deficit that we've been talking about for so long.
Right. You mentioned the export of minerals. Are there other areas that really we do have significant trade with the UK that is affecting businesses here?
Absolutely. I think you'll see that with the export and import of automobiles as they come across. It's no accident that number has set at 100,000 before it steps from 10% up to 25%, because it's about the exact number that are exported from the UK to America. We'll also see that in ethanol production. That's an important one for the state of Utah and also for the UK, so for in energy and so forth. And then, of course, these minerals, I mentioned that they go into making computer chips and the like. That's, again, a lot speaks to the sectors that are very, very important to the state of Utah.
We've heard so much negative about tariffs. What would you like folks to think about as these trade talks continue?
Yeah, this is simply, again, and I've said this before, but this is a reset to looking for what would be reciprocal. We're not asking for anything, I think, as a country that we haven't been willing to give. But it's been imbalanced for far too long. I think this is one of President Trump's campaign promises, and he's making good on this. And it's what he's doing right now is ultimately, I believe, good for the American people. But it is going to be a challenge to get there. We've seen some of that challenge, and today is a great win for us in that battle to look for freer trade and a more balanced trade.
In the few seconds I have left here, where would you say that imbalance has been just for Utah? Was there one specific area?
Well, let's go to beef, for example. If we were to export beef to the United Kingdom to then, be taxed through a tariff 125% above other countries that are in that region, that's an enormous imbalance. And so it's also been damaging to the UK, frankly, because they've been trading with Ireland, not their own North Ireland, not to be confused with the two. And, of course, that doesn't create necessarily a competitive pricing metric for beef. So for us to be able to even export that way to the UK opens up all kinds of new trade, both in agriculture, what we're seeing this in minerals, and other places, including then, if you get into technology and intellectual property, we're lowering those barriers. One of the things that the state of Utah has done is formed an MOU. About 2 years ago, Governor Cox was in the United Kingdom. I was there with him and signed a document, not just in spirit, but we've been working on this for the last 2 years to lower those barriers of trade in every aspect of commerce.
James, appreciate you so much. Thanks for being with me. That is James Clark, the CEO of ClearLink, honorary consul to the United Kingdom and board member at the World Trade Center, Utah. This is Midday at KSL News Radio. Hello, I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are following this hour. Hidden fees causing the price of your groceries to go up more than you'd expect. Mother's Day gifts that don't break the bank and will put a smile on your face. We'll also check in with Ricky Meese. But first, let's take a look at KSL's top local stories. The Catholic Bishop of Utah, Most Reverend Oscar Solis, says he's excited about the announcement of a new pope. He asked Catholics to pray for Pope Leo XIV.
As he leads faithfully and guides humbly the Church into this new age of technological acceleration with the mind of Christ, to bravely cast out into the deep, to bring the hope and mercy of God to the poor, the marginalized, and in need with the heart of Christ.
Solis said Pope Leo is a man of prayer and doctrine with extensive missionary experience. City of Ogden says all but 13 of the more than 160 animals removed from a hoarding situation have been rescued or placed at other shelters in the area. None of the animals had to be euthanized despite living in unsanitary and overcrowded conditions. Ogden City's prosecutor's office filed charges yesterday against Miguel Salgado Vargas and Ramon Cano Aspiro for 168 counts of animal cruelty and a slew of other charges for each animal that was rescued. Other local stories we are following. Utah housing advocates are looking to bring renters and tenants together to improve the state's rental market. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has details.
The new Landlord and Community Partners Coalition is looking to prevent evictions primarily by increasing the supply of low-income housing in Utah.
This is a bold initiative to address Utah's housing challenges.
Project manager Zoe Newman tells me one of the biggest reasons they wanted to start this is because of a large failure rate they found in voucher placements for Section 8 housing around the state.
Newman says by bringing tenants and landlords together, they hope to improve the problems that they are seeing in low-income housing. A measure that would allow off-roading to return to part of the Glen Canyon Dam recreation area is on its way to the president's desk. Congresswoman Celeste Malloy introduced that bill, which the House passed last week. Today, it got approval from the Senate. It restores access to about 24 miles worth of terrain in an area called Orange Cliffs. The Biden administration had restricted access to that area. School kids from around the Wasatch Front are celebrating the final month of school with field trips to Lagoon, and that means there's going to be some packed trains. That's starting tomorrow morning.
It often is a significant number of students. It can result in standing room only trips on the front runner.
UTA spokesman Gavin Gustafson says other days with field trips in May include the 15th and the 20th through the 22nd. They're asking kids and the regular riders to show respect for each other, don't put your feet up on the seats, and just be aware it might be standing room only. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 525 points, sitting at 41,639. S&P up by 72, the NASDAQ up by 330 points. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's homegrown home loans. Ricky, any trouble spots?
We still have the cleanup of an accident northbound I-15 prior to the 6 South exit downtown, out of traffic on the shoulder, so no delay there. But if you continue northbound I-15, it is bogged down in Roy and Riverdale. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 79, temperature climbing to 83 tomorrow, up to 87 by Sunday. Mother's Day, just a very slight chance of rain. 75 degrees from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
If you've got a honey-do list with electrical, plumbing, heating, or air conditioning projects on it, Any Hour Services can help. Call Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. anyhourservices.com.
The Salt Lake Chamber is Utah's voice for business. Okay, that sounds great, but what does it really mean? Well, as Utah's largest and longest-standing business association, they support and champion community prosperity throughout the state. And if you're in business, well, that's a very good thing for you. Be sure to listen to the Chamber's Speaking on Business, weekdays at 7:20, 11:55, and 5:20 p.m. on KSL News Radio.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The KSL News Radio Movie Show comes to My Hearing Centers Friday from 10 to 1. But first, discover what My Hearing Centers can do for you. My Hearing Centers uses advanced technology to diagnose and treat hearing loss. These comprehensive evaluations determine the best treatment options. Then enjoy lifetime support with regular check-ins, cleaning, and maintenance. Call My Hearing Centers at 801-701-1629. 801-701-1629 for more details. My Hearing Centers has offices from Ogden to St. George.
Welcome back to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Food delivery, whether from a restaurant or a grocery store, is pretty darn convenient. But you may notice, as our KSL Investigates team found, the prices for delivery are more expensive than if you went and got that food yourself. Seems pretty understandable, right? But the issue is about lack of transparency. Welcome back to Midday. To the longtime Inside Sources listeners, we welcome you to this new show, and our goal is to report the news and go deeper on the top stories. Like I mentioned, these hidden fees tacked onto your grocery deliveries mean that you're spending a lot more for a product and you never truly know it. KSL investigators Matt Gephardt, Sloan Schreg did some digging and found that even with things like free delivery, you're probably paying more for your food if you use a delivery app.
With food delivery apps, there is a cost to convenience. Service fees, delivery fees, tips. These are expenses we not only expect, they are clearly spelled out every time we check out. But there is a sneakier surcharge that you should be aware of too. Last month, KSL executive producer Sloan Schreg and I did a little retail sleuthing. We were looking into how prices compare between what you see on the shelf versus what you see in one of those delivery apps. We looked into 3 apps, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. Each has a little grocery button that will bring up a whole list of grocery stores. All right, let's begin where we begin all of our days, breakfast.
Right here, 20 ounce.
Cereal aisles have no shortage of choices, so Sloan and I decided to go with one that is undeniably fun to say.
Fruity Pebbles.
Right away, we found prices not the same. At Target, this smaller family-size box of Fruity Pebbles was 79 cents more expensive on the Uber Eats app, while this larger, giant-size box, it was a full $2 more expensive on DoorDash. The apps also limited our choices. You can see there's no shortage of size options, but they didn't all exist on the apps. On DoorDash this day, we were limited to the 23-ounce box. On Uber Eats, it was the 19.5-ounce box. And Target, well, they weren't even available on Grubhub.
It does not give me this option. The 32-ounce option. It doesn't give me the cheapest option.
Inventories change day to day, but in the store on this day, the most economical Fruity Pebbles, the lowest price per ounce, we did not even see it offered on one of the apps. We found similar patterns at other stores. At Macy's, we paid $5.89 for a 19.5-ounce box, while a smaller 15-ounce box on DoorDash was advertised for 10 cents more. Or at Lucky's, the exact same box, $1.16 more on Grubhub.
I mean, 25%, that's nothing to laugh at.
As Sloan and I continued our hunt, we found the pattern repeating itself with other items. Take chicken nuggets. If you look at the app, it looks like this bag is a deal.
This is advertising. No. It's not $7.69. You're saving. It's $7.19. If you're in the store, it's even cheaper than that.
Yeah, despite the advertised savings, the nugs were actually 20 cents more expensive on DoorDash and a full $1 more expensive on Uber Eats than what we paid in a Target store. And check out this discrepancy. At Macy's, they were having a sale on Dino Nuggets, $10.99, but that sale not reflected on DoorDash.
The $17.49 versus $10.99.
A savings of 37% not offered on the app.
What do you want? Grubhub.
All right, how about some dessert? Shopping in-store at Lucky's, we paid $5.98 for this carton of chocolate ice cream. On Grubhub, we paid almost 9% more and almost 12% more on Uber Eats.
There's no mention of any deals or savings or 25% off here at all.
At the end of a long day of investigative shopping, Sloan and I found that the vast majority of items were at least a little bit more expensive on our food delivery apps, and some quite a bit more expensive. Call it a surcharge, a markup, a fee. It is one that is not clearly disclosed. And now we know it is being tacked on.
Matt and Sloan joining me in the studio. Thanks for being with me, guys. So, I mean, most of us can know that we're paying a convenience fee. But how in the world are we going to be able to determine how much is actually being tacked on to all of these products that we're buying?
Yeah, the only real way is to go do what we did, which is stand there in the store with the phone in your one hand and looking at the price tag on the other. And of course, that beats the entire point of the convenience of these apps, right? And so there are. This idea came to me because I shop on these apps quite a bit. I have a young family and we are very busy, and so I frequently am using these things and I got online at one point to order something that I knew for sure they had at the store, and yet it wasn't showing up on the app. And I'm like, they must be out. I don't know. Gave me other suggestions, more expensive suggestions, and so I drove over to the store and I looked, and sure enough, there it was. And then as I'm standing there looking at it, I'm going, well, wait a minute, why don't I see it on the app? And how come this one that I see here that is more expensive is, in fact, less expensive looking at it here on the shelf? And that's what got Sloan and I to do the legwork that is, again, defeats the purpose of the convenience, but to see how much these markups are.
Okay, so things are actually missing that you want to buy as well. You're not just tacking on prices, but if they don't want to give you that item and tack on the price, they're just not putting them on the app.
Yeah,
right?
there were things that were not there. No question about it. And with every single thing, and we didn't shop every item in the store, but every single item we did shop, we found price discrepancies app to app. One app was more expensive than another app, and then also price discrepancies compared to what you were seeing on the store shelf. And never, not one time ever, did we notice a price that was less expensive sitting there on the store shelf. So you get to the checkout on one of these apps, and it tells you very clearly that you're going to be paying more for this convenience. And of course we all expect that. Of course we do, right? And it's right there when you pay. So you get your $30 worth of items, and you have your $2.99 convenience fee and your $2.99 delivery fee, and then you're going to add a little tip for the person who's doing it for you. Mm-hmm. But this is one that, no question about it, adds, in some cases, we found some items close to 40% more expensive that you simply just aren't being told about. And it just goes into the price that you pay.
Sloan, biggest surprise for you?
I just think the limited number of options sometimes. When you get the food delivery app, they'll give you just one size of a product available. And you go in the store, there's 3 or 4 different sizes you can choose from. You're constrained about that choice, when you go into using the food delivery apps.
Okay, so you guys couldn't even determine that one app was better than another.
Correct. Some apps varied. In our investigation, Uber Eats tended to be more expensive than DoorDash in at least a couple of the items that we saw. But yeah, as far as those, it's probably worth noting here, these are third-party apps, right? These were your DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, that aren't necessarily affiliated with any specific store. So there are many stores have leaned into this also, and they'll do things where you can they'll shop for you. You can come and just pick it up at store, and others actually
and you're not
do
talking
delivery.
about that, so we need to be clear.
Those ones do tend to, based on just my tertiary investigation of that, tend to be closer to the same, if not the same. And I had a conversation with the public relations person for Macy's, who mentioned to me that, when you use our app, especially for the advertised items, we make a point of making sure those do match. So in those cases, they do tend to be closer, more accurate. But your third-party apps, they were all more expensive on every item that we sampled.
Right. Do your research. Thank you guys for being with me.
Thanks for the time.
Midday with Maria Shilaos continues with our question of the day in just 60 seconds.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We have a new pope. White smoke has come out of the chimney on top of the Sistine Chapel at the Vatican. Now we want to get your take on the new pope and the future direction of the Catholic Church. This segment, our question of the day, gives us a chance to connect with you. We want to hear your comments and concerns, and we'll do that by posing this question of the day, then asking you to respond either on the KSL News Radio app or by phone. It's easy on the app. Just open the app, look at the bottom of the homepage. You'll see the call-in tab. You just click on that. You tell us your first name and where you're calling from, and then you give us a quick response to the question. You can even re-record there. And each day at 1:35, we'll share some of your thoughts and hear from the experts who can speak to them. You can also leave us your message at 801-575-4606. So here's the question of the day. What do you hope to see from the new pope? What direction would you like the Catholic Church to go under the new pontiff? Again, leave us your name, where you're calling from, then your response on the KSL News Radio app, just at the call-in tab, or you can call us 801-575-4606. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to talk about Mother's Day gifts. Mother's Day gifts that won't leave you destitute and will actually make your mom happy too. You'll want to stay with us. But first, let's take a look at traffic. Traffic and Weather Together is brought to you by Mountain America's Homegrown Home Loans. Ricky?
We do have a right lane block now with crews trying to get this crash cleared in Woods Cross. This is southbound I-15, about a half mile prior to 2600 South. Once that tow truck has been able to get that vehicle loaded up and pulled away, they'll open up that right lane, but expect a little bit of slowing and definitely use some caution in the area of southbound I-15 through Davis County. Ricky Meeson, the KSL Traffic Center.
Summer is right around the corner.
It's time to spring into summer with Soda Weight Loss. Today is a new day.
And a big day for you.
Why? Because right now, you'll get our biggest discount of the year.
Do you know how good it feels to let go of 51 pounds of belly fat? And I did it without drugs, shots, or hunger. Because Soda Weight Loss works. Just look at all the Google reviews and all the thousands of before and after pictures.
Soda Weight Loss has one goal, and that's to help you let go of the weight for good.
So I lost 25 pounds. I was never hungry. It was very, very easy. I couldn't believe how fast the weight came off.
Now is the time to join America's #1 weight loss company for client satisfaction and results.
Hurry. Savings won't last long.
Let's go.
Get started now at sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio. Or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
Are you looking for the perfect downtown lunch spot? The Garden Restaurant at Temple Square is opening on June 30th in Salt Lake City. Enjoy a reimagined space and a fresh, healthy menu featuring handcrafted sandwiches, rich soups, unique salads, and their famous homemade pot pies. You'll see and taste the difference in every menu item. The Garden is perfect for lunch meetings, taking a break while out shopping, or a spring stroll downtown. Visit the reimagined space with remarkable taste. Grab and go or stay and dine in using a new online ordering option. Find entry from the ground floor of the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, open Monday through Friday, 11 to 3. Visit thegardenslc.com to learn more. Fresh Flavors' iconic location. The Garden Restaurant at Temple Square is opening June 30th. Hope to see you there. thegardenslc.com.
Mother's Day is quickly approaching. Spoiler alert for all you kids and husbands out there. It's on Sunday, and if you haven't gotten your gift yet, well, it's not too late, but you better get on it. Now, I know for me, I want something with some thought, something that really shows some love. None of this gift card stuff for me unless you're going to get a gift card for plants. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to Midday with Maria Shilaos. Earlier this hour, we spoke about some hidden fees making your groceries even more expensive. And it seems like nowadays everything is more expensive and the prices keep going up. Debbie Dujanovic joins me now. Before you dig into what you found, some great Mother's Day deals, let's talk just for a minute about the dilemma. The mothers, we always say, hey, don't buy me anything.
I think most of the moms I know, when their kids ask them what they want for Mother's Day, and I include myself in that, I say, don't buy me anything. I don't want you to spend the money. It takes a lot of time out of your busy work schedule. Don't spend a dime. So I started researching this just a few days ago because I think there's some sort of a philosophical explanation for this. And I really couldn't nail down what that is exactly, other than as moms, and I'll just speak for myself, I love doing things for others. I mean, I remember there was a day even when one of my kids, we turned our back and she was right down, she was right there, but we couldn't find, I'm running down hot pavement with bare feet trying to find it. We're always doing things for our kids, and we like it like that, right? I love giving gifts to my kids. I love doing, the holiday shopping for my kids. But when it comes to us, we're like, we don't want you to spend the money. So I call it the Mother's Day dilemma. But what's ironic about this, Maria, is what I found is that last year, USA Today posted a news story about this. And we spent like $33.5 billion for gifts for mom, after mom has basically told us don't buy anything. So
it's not too surprising.
Yeah. So I just think the reason for that is because we don't want our kids to feel the obligation of spending any money at all. But there's this expert out there that was quoted in the USA Today article, and I have to read this to you. It says, don't believe mom when she says she doesn't want anything. Treating your mom is never a bad idea. But I'm curious because you're a mom
it does make you feel special, but I do always say don't buy me anything. But then if they don't come over, then I think they've forgotten me, or, I just want their time more than anything.
So the most popular gifts are a little bit pricey, and I think this is where we're going down the path of like just spending too much money. That is the number one gift that kids and probably, significant others give mom for Mother's Day is flowers, and those can be pretty expensive. The other gift is, and they're getting more expensive, greeting cards. I went to pick out a greeting card a few days ago, and
they're
it was
like $6.
$9.99.
Okay, obviously I've not bought one recently.
Yeah, special outings and dinner, but dinner can cost a couple $100.
Oh, especially right now.
Or think about Mother's Day brunch. That could be $200 or $300. Jewelry is another hot item. Last year, Americans spent $7 billion buying mom jewelry for Mother's Day. And then electronics. I don't think I've ever gotten an electronic for Mother's Day. And I'm like, what would that look like? Like maybe an Apple Watch or something like that. But I've never gotten that. But we spent $3.5 billion last year buying electronics for mom. And I started thinking, I have a feeling a lot of this is because it's so last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Mom says, I don't want anything. And so we're just throwing money at anything we can buy. So what I did is I sat down and I came up with a short list, but I think it's a pretty effective list of $50 gift items or less. And I would love to go over it with you. And not one of these items includes a gift card.
Okay.
I've gotten plenty of gift cards in my time. How
my
about you?
My kids know if it's for plants, they're okay. Because
that's
I'm going to go out and buy
the greenhouse
plants for the
and,
season, right? That's just what my love.
Well, and you have a brilliant green thumb.
Well, I don't know about that.
But I always felt like when I send my mom a gift card for Mother's Day, I'm like, oh, then she knows exactly how much I spent. So I like to disguise how little I spent on gifts by buying something that is the gift that keeps on giving. So I hope my mom's not listening right now. I went to a history buff website, and for $35. And my mom is a history buff. She loves reading books on history. For $35, and that included a coupon code, I got my mom the gift of history. So every month, she is going to receive a packet at her door that's going to be a letter and just information on cool things in history. And that'll go on for 6 months. And I'm like, you know what? It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So thoughtful.
$35.
That's what I'm talking about. Something that your mother personally will love.
Thinking outside the box. And I always buy for my sister, too, because she is like a second mom to me with all of her great advice. And what I did for her this year is I got little affirmation cards. And I got a stack of affirmation cards for under $6 on Amazon. And then I put them in a really pretty box and I sent them through the U.S. Postal Service. Yeah. So every single day, she'll get them in the mail, every single day for about 60 days, she can pull out an affirmation card. And they say fabulous things like, like I'm amazing at whatever I do today is going to be. Just really a great way to start your day. There's a book online that I thought would be fun to get a mom. It's you can get it at actually Walmart, or you can get it on Amazon for $14 at Walmart. It's a little cheaper than that. It's a book, and it's Mom, I Want to Hear Your Story. So for less than like $10, you can get Mom this book that says, I want to hear your story. And then Mom writes her story in the book. And I'm thinking that accomplishes so many things. It gives Mom a very special assignment. And it's a way of telling Mom, your story matters to me.
Well, not only that, Mom is writing down her story and leaving it for you.
How about this? I have this. This is $50. It's a little pricier. A 1-year subscription to the New York Times Games app. Not the news app.
I thought you were going to say the recipes section,
because
because they are
fun
wonderful.
Too.
Awesome. Yeah, as well.
That would be fun too. Yeah, there's apps out there that cost a little bit of money. I have the gaming app, just the New York Times. I get the crossword puzzles. I get Wordle. It's like $6 a month or $50 a year. These are out-of-the-box ideas that I came up with for a low-cost Mother's Day gift. So when Mom tells you, don't buy me anything for Mother's Day, the assignment is, don't buy it. Buy it.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah,
thank you so much for being with me.
Congrats on your new show.
Yeah, thank
I love
you
it
so much. Debbie Dujanovic, host of the Dave and Dujanovic Show. And thanks for sticking around after your show. It's a long day for you. Thank you.
Anytime.
We love the conversation.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Heat is rising throughout Utah over the next few days. Our waterways?
Not expecting flooding, but these rivers are going to be running fast. They're going to be dangerous, and we really need to give them a wide berth, until things start settling down.
The time is 2 o'clock on Thursday, May 8th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, what you need to know about rivers and streams this weekend and how the heat could affect your gardening plans.
5 people retire, 2 come in. 5 leave, 2 come in.
The skills gap continues to widen, leaving holes in the workforce. We'll have more on that coming up and what Utah schools are doing to close that gap. But first, our top stories. We have a new pope. The crowd chanted Viva il Papa as Pope Leo XIV appeared on the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost is the first ever American pope. The last pope to use the name Leo died in 1903. Pope Leo shines a spotlight on Chicago's Catholic community. KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce has more.
Pope Leo XIV was born Robert Francis Prevost in Chicago in the baby boom years. His father, a French World War II vet, his mother, an Italian woman. He attended St. Mary of the Assumption Church on Chicago's 137th Street as a boy, got a bachelor's degree in math from Villanova, and then his master's of divinity from Chicago's Catholic Theological Union.
Pope Leo also has strong ties to Peru, where he served as a bishop for the Catholic Church. President Trump says the finishing touches are being put on a new trade deal with the United Kingdom, that the terms are good news for American farmers.
The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture, dramatically increasing access for American beef, ethanol, and virtually all of the products produced by our great farmers.
The president said the deal will cement the relationship between the two nations for many years to come. He also said it was the first of many deals with trading partners, which he claimed were in serious stages of negotiation. Utah's exports continue to increase, sending out $18 million worth of goods last year. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The state sent goods to just over 200 countries, with the UK being the #1 trade partner. The Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute's Utah International Trade Report says unwrought gold and primary metals are the state's #1 export, next to computers and electronics. But senior research fellow and lead author of the report, John Downen, says the tariffs have already started to affect the 2025 export outlook.
Uncertainty has led firms to cut back on investment or hold off on hiring, start maybe looking for other sources of the inputs that they need to make their product.
Downen says with the current economic climate, there's really no telling what the report will look like next year. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
The Dow up 254 points at the close, sitting at 41,368. S&P 500 up by 33. The NASDAQ up by 189 points. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Homegrown Home Loans. Here's Ricky Meese.
A crash blocking a right lane of traffic, 2 right lanes, southbound I-15 in Davis County. This is as you're approaching 2600 South Woods Cross, starting to cause some delays, and northbound I-15 in Weber County. A left lane blocked with road work going from Roy to Riverdale. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
79 degrees for a high today, up to 87 by Sunday, with a slight chance of showers on Mother's Days. Right now, 76 degrees from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Teens can get up to $200 with a Teen Learn and Earn account. Plus, continue earning rewards as they master the essentials of finance. More at cypresscu.com/teen.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And let's face it, it's time to update the look of your home's exterior. When was that thing built? In the 50s, 70s, 90s, the 2000s? Well, it's looking like it. Faded siding, drafty windows, leaky gutters. It's time to take action now. RGS Exteriors has been taking Utah homes from drab to fab for over 5 generations. We only use the highest quality materials, like James Hardy siding and gutter topper gutter covers. You will be blown away by how much different and better and awesome your house can look. Your neighbors will be jealous, your home value will go up, and most of all, you're going to love it. Everything we do comes with our industry-leading 10-year everything guarantee, so you can sleep like a baby, knowing if anything goes wrong, you're 100% covered. For a free estimate on your gutters, windows, siding, or anything on your outside of your home, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's rgsutah.com.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Thanks for tuning in to Midday with Maria Shilaos. For those of you who are used to hearing inside sources at this time, we welcome you to this new show, and we hope you'll continue the journey with us. Hot, hot, hot. As the weekend comes to an end, the heat continues to rise. Now, we could reach close to 90 degrees this weekend, and you're bound to want to get outside. KSL meteorologist Evan Mashuli joins me to talk about the forecast. Are we going to hit 90?
I don't think so. I'm keeping us out of the 90s for now, but it's definitely going to be very warm, close to 88 degrees as of right now on Saturday, which is definitely well above normal for this time of year. I believe average high is 69 or 70 by Saturday, so that's well above normal. And we normally have our first 85-degree day, I believe, May 21st. So already getting close to 85 is ahead of schedule, and we normally don't see a temperature close to 90 until June 1st. So this is a little abnormal for this time of year, but spring is just filled with ups and downs, and then wet weather, which will follow after that.
Get used to it. It's spring, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people will be headed outdoors. Do they have to worry about rivers and streams at this point?
I would definitely be cautious. Unfortunately, April, we did not see a lot of precipitation. It was well above normal for the entire state. So we dropped our snowpack, I think, almost 30% from April 1st to May 1st. So it's about 64% of normal for May 1st as of May 1st for the entire state. So what that means is, yes, we'll continue to see melt, but for southern Utah, they are almost just, extremely poor for their snowpack and their runoff potential. So the threat is definitely higher further north, where we had some better snowpack and still melting. We don't see any flood stages right now, but they're definitely running faster and running colder. So be weary of that stuff.
We're not going to avoid the word drought this summer, are we?
Yeah, we're not. The state's already in a drought status. Many locations are technically, moderate to severe drought. The further southwest you go, like Iron counties, Washington County, they are in severe drought right now. So if we don't keep getting rain, it's only going to get worse. And for southern Utah, it's really worrisome, especially for, wildfire season.
Devin, thanks for your help.
Yeah, no problem.
KSL TV meteorologist Evan Mashuli joining me. Now, this segment, the heart of the story, isn't just the heat, it's how the heat could affect your landscaping and gardening plans. After all, the rule of thumb in Utah is get your garden started on Mother's Day. Now, with this big change in temperatures, I spoke with my co-host on the KSL Greenhouse, Ton Bettis, and Ton is a horticulturist with Utah State Extension Service. And I wanted to know, what should we be concerned about or at least be aware of in our yard?
With the heat in the yard, a lot of times we will go from not worrying about watering because rain takes care of it to all of a sudden our plants are showing signs of drought stress, and then our grass starts to brown out, and a lot of times we get caught kind of blindsided because we don't expect things to move that quickly as far as the heat.
So what are some of those signs that your plants are in distress?
Well, you can look for wilting leaves. That's when they start to wilt down, that's the point they can't get any more water out of the soil. And that's the first thing to watch for. But dry soil, if it's been 4 or 5 days since we've had a rainstorm and we're going to be going from the 60s and low 70s into the 80s or even hotter, then the soil dries out really quickly. And to prevent wilting and the grass browning out, just taking a shovel or a screwdriver and investigating the soil by, digging down or putting that screwdriver in to see how hard it is, because the soil, when it's dry, it's a lot harder to push a screwdriver into, would be some things to look for.
So we're always telling people don't water too early, don't water too much. Is it time to turn on the sprinklers?
It's getting there, yes. I spot watered some spots in my lawn last week just with a hose-in sprinkler, just because they were drying out, and it's an area I have problems with. But it's a really good idea to start getting your sprinkling system tested, looking for leaks, and making sure your sprinkler clock is working. And so, yes, it's time to be prepared.
I'm wondering, there are so many new ways, new systems of watering. We've heard about this new smart watering system. What difference, first tell us what those systems are and what kind of difference can they make?
Well, several companies are manufacturing what we, I guess, colloquially would call a smart water clock. And what they do is they use information from local weather stations, weather forecasts, current weather conditions to water your lawn and your trees and shrubs and flower beds. And they are getting a lot better than they were, say, 5 or 10 years ago, and a lot easier to program, to where the old clocks, you were using switches and dials, and it could get really confusing. The new the smart clocks, you use an app on your phone, and you can just get on the app and tell it this zone is for my lawn and it's really sunny, and then you can say this zone number 2 is for my lawn but it's shady, and then you can tell it this zone is on drip and they're newly planted shrubs, and the clock automatically adjusts for those different conditions and then irrigates according to the weather and those other factors it takes into account. So it takes you out of the equation from having to reset the clock throughout the summer, because it does it for you. But the nice thing about these clocks are that you can go in, and let's say zone number 1 that's hot and sunny and on your turf, the turf's just drying out all the time. And so you can go in on the app and just tell it to increase the amount of irrigation by 20%, and it will take that into account and just do it. And so they're a lot more intuitive and just really easy to use, and they can save 30 to 50% of the water you normally would, and your lawn or your yard doesn't suffer at all.
And the state is offering some rebates on some of those systems. People can find out more on the Utah Water Savers website, right?
Yes, utahwatersavers.org. It's either .org or .com. Or if you just do an internet search of Utah Water Savers, it comes right up. And I understand they've increased the rebate to where on some of the clocks, the smart clocks, you can almost get them for free.
Okay, for those folks who don't have the smart clocks and they're going to be worried about watering too much in the spring, what should they think about if they are starting their sprinklers right now?
Well, the Utah Water Savers and several other local conservation-oriented organizations and state agencies have irrigation suggestions that you can get online. And for mid to late May into June, you probably should be watering deeply once every 5 to 7 days if we're in the 70s and 80s. And you just want to make sure that the water penetrates into the soil about 6 inches to a foot deep. And then when we get into the 90s regularly, you'll have to boost that to 2 or 3 times a week. And fortunately, even on what we would call a dumb clock, or one of the clocks with older technology, it's usually not that big of a deal to go in and turn the dial to water more times a week. Instead of just every Tuesday, you're going Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. just depending on how hot it is. And it's just something that you manually have to do, and you probably should set a reminder on your phone. If you see the weather's going to change, to just set a reminder for a good time to change your sprinkler clock.
All right. Anything else you might want to add that I haven't thought about with this heat?
Well, I would just say be careful. Your lawn, if it turns brown, it's not dead, it's just dormant. And if it goes totally brown, it can take several weeks to recover. But if you see that it's just starting to turn brown, don't overwater. Just make sure that those areas get some irrigation, and then do the recommended amount or use your smart clock. But the lawn's not dead if it's brown, and it will come back.
All right, Ton, I'll talk to you on Saturday.
It's good to talk to you, and I'll see you Saturday.
And you can join Ton and me for the Greenhouse Show every Saturday from 8 to 11. You can call in, ask your questions, or also text us your questions. Stay with us. We'll be back with how Utah's rivers and streams are looking in just 60 seconds.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hotter temperatures this weekend got us thinking, could we be in for some flooding? Midday executive producer Andy Cupp got the scoop. Andy, what did you find out?
So I spoke with Glenn Merrill, who's a hydrologist at the National Weather Service office here in Salt Lake, and he says with the snowpack as it is now, we're past the possibility of flooding. But he says that doesn't mean we're completely out of the woods, and we should still keep our guard up.
Especially when it's warm, people are drawn to the water, right? What people need to remember is that, in these stream channels, the water's going to be moving very swiftly. In some areas, especially, coming out of the Uinta Mountains, it could be pushing 1,500 cubic feet per second. And a good way to look at that is every second that river is essentially 1,500 basketballs rushing by. So you've got very swift water, which was snow just, a day or two ago. So it's very, very cold. So you really have to pay close attention around these waterways because even though we're not expecting flooding, there's a significant public safety hazard for anyone who might fall in to these waterways.
I love the way he described that. When he said cubic feet, and I was sitting there thinking, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what cubic feet is.
15,000 basketballs. I was like, oh, okay, now I can understand that. Now, he said that there's no reason to not get outside and enjoy nature on this beautiful, warm weekend. He just said it's a good reminder to stay alert, keep an eye on your children and pets, and give waterways, as he said, a wide berth when possible.
So get outside, enjoy the beautiful weather, but a good reminder just to stay safe. Thanks, Andy.
Yep.
Let's talk finances. A new BYU study says financial literacy and communication can make or break a marriage. We'll be right back with details.
Have a minute?
I love Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News.
It's more of a personal take on the news from Jeff.
Get caught up on the latest news and hear Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News for thought-provoking, playful commentary.
It's usually funny.
Like he's said before, it varies from day to day, and it's always entertaining.
My Minute of News, it puts a smile on my face.
If you have a minute, you need to catch Jeff's Minute. My Minute of News, weekdays from 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather brought to you by Mountain America's My Style Homegrown Home Loans. Ricky?
Crews are still working to clear this crash on southbound I-15 prior to 2600 South Woods Cross. Now, they've opened up the right lanes of travel. What's left of the accident is on the right shoulder, and we still have residual delays back to 4th North in West Bountiful. Try UTA and get more done while you ride. Games, work, books, shows. You'll be too busy to notice all the traffic you're missing. Plan your trip at rideuta.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
When should you file for Social Security to get the most out of your benefits? Get the answer in a free report, your guide to filing for Social Security in 2025 and beyond. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, get your free report now by calling 801-251-1046. 801-251-1046. There's more to maximizing Social Security than filing for your benefits early or late. This free report details all of the different things you must consider that could help you get the most net income from Social Security. Wring every nickel out of your benefits that are rightfully yours. Get your free report now by calling 801-251-1046. That's 801-251-1046.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. For years now, I've been telling you about Connecticut soft water systems that use 2/3 less salt than the others. But I've never told you exactly how they do that. Well, there are several ways, so consider this as part one in a series. Most of the softeners out there use a finicky, hard-to-adjust computer to guesstimate when to cycle, and it errs on the side of cycling too often, which means it'll burn through way too much salt way too soon. Connecticut is different. It has an all-mechanical system that measures the water precisely. No computer, no guesstimating, so it cycles only when needed. The result, Connecticut delivers perfectly soft water 24/7 using minimal salt. So why not save your lower back from carrying the 3 bags of salt when all you need is 1? Call Northern Utah's authorized Connecticut dealer, Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake. Call them now, 801-576-8600, or log on to softwaterutah.com and tell them Doug sent you.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You were listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos. A new study from BYU shows that most couples who feel similarly about money are generally happier unless they feel like money brings happiness. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
The study looked at over 1,000 married couples and sorted each person's feelings about money into one of 4 categories. They found couples who had the same general attitude towards money communicated better and are happier in marriage, except for the group that felt they always needed more and that money brings happiness. The study concludes that even if people don't realize it, their attitudes about money can affect their conversations with a partner.
Researchers say this shows how important financial literacy, compatibility, and communication are in keeping a healthy relationship. Speaking of financial literacy, another new study shows that on average, Utah women don't have the greatest financial literacy. Dr. Susan Madsen is the founding director of the Utah Women and Leadership Project. Susan, thanks for being with me. So tell us what your study found when it comes to financial literacy. I mean, what's happening here?
Well, in the state of Utah, we have pulled together the data, anything we can on women and money to try and figure out what's happening. And we actually know that there is a disparity. In fact, we have the biggest disparity between 8th grade girls and 8th grade boys, and in 4th grade as well, between their confidence and competence in math. And so that starts when girls are raised and socialized to think that they're not as good at math, and they are actually if they continue on. They get nervous about money. And so we found that even in our financial literacy classes in high school, there's a gap between boys and girls already, and young men and young women in terms of those finances. So it's really interesting to look at the gender. But I was surprised when we look at the numbers as well, in terms of how many couples, how many families don't have emergency funding. And when you get to single moms, that's really a problem. Even $1,000 of emergency funding, many families don't even have that.
Yeah, single moms or just single women with no children. How does that, will that impact their retirement and stuff?
Absolutely. We know that women here in the state of Utah who have young children who are single moms, almost 40% of those women will be living in poverty. So that's really a high-risk category. When you have a single mom with young kids at home, they're just more likely to be really struggling. And so I'm really concerned about that demographic in our state.
So what are you seeing as the solution? How can the state remedy this problem?
Well, continuing to, do work actually in the K through 12 system, help parents understand. Actually, in some research that's been conducted, not our own, we're finding that parents are not actually talking to their kids about money and not sharing. And so not sharing their own situations, but being more open and talking to kids. There's good resources out there on how parents can talk to kids about money so that when they get older, they start understanding what they need to do and what they need to understand, and have those conversations with your daughters and sons. That's the problem. Sometimes we just talk to our sons when it comes to math or anything with numbers. But girls and boys can equally, and they are, good at math, good at science, and all of those other STEM areas.
Let's go back to the parents for just a second. Is there any indication why parents don't talk about money? Are they just concerned that their children are going to worry too much? It's going to stress them out?
They just, I think that could be part of it. But I also think it's just something parents think, we don't need to put anything on the kids, or they don't want to, even their kids, if they have a lot of money, to feel entitled, yet, there's kids that drive really nice cars to high school and so forth. So kids are paying attention more than we think. And so it's just a habit. When you're raised and your parents didn't talk to you about money, you tend to do the same thing. And so these days, we've just got to have better prepared kids coming out. And we know there's so many struggles. High housing prices, a lot of young adults are not even able to buy, houses these days. So in general, we've got to talk to our kids, even our adult kids, about money more than we used to.
Plus, even instill confidence in them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. They've got to know, and that's what we find with any of our research around girls and young women, that confidence is, oftentimes they are competent, but they don't have confidence. Young men typically, they can be competent, but they're confident. So there's some different things. Not time to talk about it on today's shows, but it's fascinating. And the way we actually teach about money and so forth, and numbers and all of that, there's some evidence in the research to show that the way we teach girls and the way we teach boys actually needs to be a little bit different. Not for everyone, but we actually explain things and teach differently. But we don't separate some of these hard topics, even though girls, respond differently. So looking at gender on these topics, I think, is really important.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us. That is Dr. Susan Madsen, the founding director of the Utah Women and Leadership Project. Thanks so much for being with me. It's 2:30 at midday at KSL News Radio. Hello, I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Public and private lands working together. Warnings from school crossing guards as the school year wraps up, and KSL traffic. Ricky?
We do have clearing of the accident southbound I-15 in Woods Cross, but residual delays remain. Those are easing too. Maria?
Thank you, Ricky. KSL's top local stories in 1 minute. First, the latest from ABC News.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Tens of thousands packed into St. Peter's Square today reacted when white smoke signaled a new pope had been elected. And soon after, breaking out into larger cheers when the new pope walked out onto the Vatican balcony, revealing that Robert Francis Prevost is now the first American elected to be a pope. And ABC's Maggie Rulli is in St. Peter's Square and has more on the former cardinal, who now serves as the first American pope.
Pope Francis elevating him to bishop in 2015. Prevost leaving an impression on Pope Francis, who elevated him further in the church, naming Prevost the president of the Pontifical Commission for Latin America, before finally making him a cardinal in 2023.
I am American, and I think I do have some insights into the church in the United States.
Despite spending most of his career in Peru, the new pope never forgot his U.S. roots.
Pope Leo holds his first Mass tomorrow. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. Those big booms you hear today are probably coming from the Tooele Army Depot. The depot is detonating material in its South Area Range. State housing advocates are launching a new coalition aimed at helping people in the rental market. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
Today, the Utah Housing Coalition is launching the Landlord and Community Partners Coalition with the goal of helping both tenants and landlords.
These are the cards that we're dealt with in Utah. Let's roll with it and let's, try to come up with housing solutions together.
Coalition Project Manager Zoe Newman tells me they want to prevent evictions mainly by increasing the state's low-income housing supply after they found a large failure rate in Section 8 voucher placements around the state.
So that basically translates to, landlords and small landlords either not wanting to collaborate with people with housing vouchers.
Newman says it's also important to do this now given the current cost of living and the political climate. The coalition's first meeting is at the end of the month. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Other local stories KSL is following. A new study from BYU shows that most couples who feel similarly about money are generally happier unless they feel like money brings happiness. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
The study looked at over 1,000 married couples and sorted each person's feelings about money into one of 4 categories. They found couples who had the same general attitude towards money communicated better and are happier in marriage, except for the group that felt they always needed more and that money brings happiness. The study concludes that even if people don't realize it, their attitudes about money can affect their conversations with a partner.
Researchers say this shows how important financial compatibility and communication are in keeping a healthy relationship. Taking a look at your money at this moment at the close, the Dow down 254 points, ending at 41,368. S&P 500 down by 32, about 0.5%, sitting at 5,663. The Nasdaq down by 189 points. That's more than a full percent. Some kids from around the Wasatch Front are celebrating the final month of school with field trips to Lagoon, and that means there's going to be some packed trains starting tomorrow morning.
It often is a significant number of students. It can result in standing room only trips on the front runner.
UTA spokesman Gavin Gustafson says other days with field trips in May include the 15th and the 20th through the 22nd. Now they're asking the kids and the regular riders to show respect for each other. Don't put your feet up on the seats and just be aware it might be standing room only. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Homegrown Home Loans. Here's Ricky Meese.
Well, I'm seeing UHP use the push bar method to get a new crash out of traffic. This is northbound I-15 approaching the I-80 junction about 2100 south. It's backing traffic to 33rd south in South Salt Lake. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And our temperature still creeping up over the next few days. Today's high 79, 83 tomorrow, 87 by Mother's Day, and just a very slight chance of showers on Mother's Day. It's 76 degrees from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Troy, can you believe Memorial Day is almost here?
Pretty exciting.
Pretty exciting?
Yeah.
That's all you got for the official start to camping season and our entire reason for living?
I am excited, yes. What do you want from me?
Get pumped, man. It's camping Christmas. Kind of a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge flippin' deal. That's why Bish's is already celebrating Memorial Day with big deals on all RVs. We're selling travel trailers starting under $139 per month on approved credit.
And don't forget no tariff fees on new in-stock RVs.
Plus 90 days of all play and no pay OAC.
And clearance pricing on all remaining 2024s while they last.
We're even delivering select RVs same day so you can camp right away.
Same day camping? That is a big flippin' deal.
Told you, camping season is a big deal. So come get the real big deals during the Memorial Day sales event happening right now at Bish's RV of Salt Lake and American Fork, where memories begin.
Based on approved credit, 20% down, 8.99% APR for 180 months. Stock number is 90452-81733. Subject to prior sale. See dealer for details.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Hi, Susan. We haven't seen or heard from you.
Cold.
We would like to locate Joyce.
The mysteries that made podcast history
Cherie Warren disappeared.
are now together for free at kslpodcasts.com.
I'm Dave Cawley, the host of Cold. Join me for Season 1, The Susan Powell Case Files. Season 2, Justice for Joyce. And Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Listen anytime for free at kslpodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You are listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos. For those who are used to hearing inside sources at this time, we welcome you. Hope you'll continue to tune in. Our goal is to dig deeper, ask the important questions, and share the stories that connect us all. A $70,000 salary offer before even graduating from high school sounds like the dream, right? Well, it's also becoming a reality thanks to a skilled labor shortage among adults. The folks learning the skills to replace them today are high schoolers. Mike Rowe of the TV show Dirty Jobs is very pro-skilled labor. He recently spoke to News Nation about the skills gap.
We've had for over a decade now in the trades, the skilled trades, 5 people retire, 2 come in. 5 leave, 2 come in. The math has never been on our side, and people know there's a skills gap. You can look at the BLS and you can see 8 million open positions, most of which don't require a 4-year degree. You can see the cost of college going up. You can see the pressure we put on kids to get a 4-year degree, even though that piece of paper isn't a prerequisite for most of the opportunities that exist, and by the way, pay 6 figures. So there's a lot of myths and misperceptions and stigmas and stereotypes that are leading to this disconnect. But we're about to turn a corner for the exact reason you point out. The math is just not there. I just got a call from the Maritime Industrial Submarine Complex, 15,000 individual companies jointly tasked with delivering 3 nuclear-powered submarines every year for the next 10 years. They need to hire 100,000 tradespeople in the next 8 years. 100,000. This is one industry that most people don't even think about. Right? They literally called and said, do you know where they are? We're looking. And I said, yeah, man, I know where they are. They're in the 8th grade.
Here in Utah, lawmakers have been making a big push for more career and technical education. These programs focus on more skills, things like welding, woodworking, automotive works, mechanics, and more. In the Granite School District, they've been expanding their own programs over the past few years. Joining me now live is Superintendent Ben Horsley. Thank you for being with me.
Thanks for having me on.
Superintendent, tell us more about the skilled labor programs that you are offering in your district.
Well, a lot of people drive up I-80 eastbound right there off of State Street and see the old hospital that is the Granite School District headquarters. But the actual largest building on that campus, the 5-story portion, is the Granite Technical Institute that offers 55-plus career pathways. 2-year certifications or other skills, CTE, career technology, educational opportunities for kids to graduate from high school with that certification and immediately enter the workforce if they desire to do so.
So what program, that's a lot of programs, the 55, just give us an example of a few of those and how many students are participating.
We have 3,500 kids that come from 8 different high schools and actually from surrounding school districts. This is the premier CTE career technology facility in the entire Intermountain West. So this beautiful facility here facilitates those 3,500 kids from our 8 high schools. They come and learn things like robotics, basic computer software. You talked about welding programs. We're expanding the diesel mechanics program. We have agricultural programs. We work with industry partners to identify the skills and the jobs that are needed out there. I was just out of the business 2 weeks ago, and they're like, man, we need some kids with soft skills, be able to talk to people, know and understand some basic mechanical capacity, and we're going to help facilitate a program to bring kids into their jobs. And these are $80,000, $90,000 a year jobs right out of high school.
Yeah, we're actually seeing that in Utah because the Wall Street Journal was talking about some pretty high salaries.
Well, I think if you see one of the reasons why the state of Utah is rated so high in terms of economics is because our educational partners like Granite School District and many other districts work very well with our collegiate partners to provide degree programs, but more importantly, with industry. All of our programs are brought about with partnerships with industry. So we know where the jobs are at. We know exactly what those skill sets are, and we're providing those educational opportunities, not just to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic in your science, but to develop the skills to be able to go out and immediately have an impact on the economy and be able to take care of your family.
Right. I know I have sons, and one took part in several programs, but he didn't actually go into those areas. Do you have any idea how many people or how many students actually continue on with those trades?
A lot of kids do. We do see some kids using this as the bridge to go on to additional educational opportunities, and that's what it's there for. But at the same time, we also want to be prepared to – we used to do a lot of different, more low-level skill sets, but we have left those to private companies to provide a beautician program, estheticians. Those are good programs, but we're looking to provide skill sets for high-paying jobs right out of high school.
Superintendent, talk about the balance for a minute. You don't want people to forget about the 4-year college degrees, do you? I mean, what is the balance here? How do you ensure that some people still go on and get that 4-year degree?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of kids, and especially in Granite School District, we have 53,000 students. We want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of any type of student, whether they want to go on to an Ivy League school, they have the opportunity to do that. If they're looking just for that career set, they're just not interested in being in a school program. We want to make sure they have an excellent high school experience. I think a lot of people, I would welcome any industry out there that's looking for jobs, looking for employees to reach out to us. Let's make sure we're meeting the needs of our local economy and at the same time providing kids with an individualized experience that meets their needs. High school looks so different than it did even when I was a long time ago, back in high school 20, 30 years ago. And the opportunities are just amazing. And the reality is our kids coming out of high school have more technical expertise than ever before. But we're still very interested in making sure kids have that individualized experience, but also have the ability to go and get a high-paying job right out of high school.
Right. So great to have that variety of choices as well. Thank you for being with me. That is Granite School District Superintendent Ben Horsley talking about trade skills programs. Midday with Maria Shilaos continues in 60 seconds with a look at how folks in Cache County are dealing with the private versus the public lands issues.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
A win for public open space. The pristine entrance to Cache Valley through Sardine Canyon will remain untouched thanks to a citizen effort to preserve the wilderness and protect the area from development.
It's one of the most pristine, most beautiful places in Cache County, and it was slated for development. The developer could have potentially built up to 400 homes in there, and we really felt like, and when I say we, I mean the majority of the people in Cache Valley felt like that was not the best place for a housing development. It's such a beautiful open space now, and we wanted to keep it that way. So we've been working with the landowner for more than 2 years now to try to secure the land as public open space. Our citizens passed a bond in 2022 to provide funding to purchase and preserve open space, and those are some of the funds that we use to purchase the land.
It means you and I will be able to continue to enjoy the scenic view through that canyon. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis spoke with County Executive David Zook about this, and he says the county worked with private individuals to purchase that nearly 800 acres.
The Thompson family purchased the east side of the highway, and the county purchased the west side of the highway. Both of those regions are critical wildlife pathways. There are deer and elk that migrate from the Wellsville Range to the south across this area. There's already a wildlife underpass under the highway that connects the two sides, the portion the county purchased and the privately owned portion.
As you just said, the Thompsons purchased 300 acres of the land. Mark Thompson says they've always been advocates for wildlife, and they were worried that the development would block wildlife from being able to migrate. So what will they do with their part of the land?
Nothing. It'll stay like it is. No development, no encroachment that will affect the wildlife. We'll graze it like it's been grazed for a number of years, cattle grazing in the summertime, and then free and clear in the wintertime for wildlife.
Zook says the county hasn't exactly decided what to do with its portion of the land yet, but the current thought is to enhance the area for outdoor lovers.
We've been having discussions about constructing a trailhead for hikers to go up onto the Wellsville Mountain Range. We've talked about summertime and wintertime recreation. We've talked about a variety of other potential uses, including equestrian use, perhaps an amphitheater, perhaps a campground. There are a variety of things that could be done there because there's a lot of space. It's a beautiful area. It's surrounded by mountains. And we're in the process right now of applying for some grant funds so that we could hire a consultant to help us develop a plan for the area.
Thompson says this part of the valley is special and deserves to be protected, not just for wildlife, but for people too.
You know, I entertain people from all over the country that come through there. They drive through there to get to Logan. And it's ironic that 90% of those people will say, man, that is the most beautiful stretch of property through there before you come into the valley. They'll ask questions about it. And I have to agree. You know, we take it for granted because we drive through there regularly and you see it and you just take it for granted. But those that see it for the first time, it has an effect on them. And so keeping that open and keeping that great entrance, I call it the crown jewel coming into Cache Valley, keeping that like it is and having that appearance at the same time protecting wildlife was important to me and my wife.
Zook says it took the cooperation of a whole lot of people to make that vision become a reality. Beautiful weather, warmer temperatures, and the end of school year excitement. Some school crossing guards say it's leading to unsafe behavior in school zones. More on their recommendations to keep kids and drivers safe next. But first, it's KSL Traffic, brought to you by Mountain America's My Style Homegrown Home Loans. Ricky?
We do have leftover delays northbound I-15 Murray up to the I-80 junction with the remainder of a crash over to the shoulder. And then construction is going to catch it northbound I-15 Clearfield through Riverdale. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hi, it's Cindy Olsen here, and whether it's for mom, sister, daughter, or the new graduate, the perfect gift for her is at the Dave's Bernina Spring Sale in St. George and Provo. Discounts on all Bernina machines with a limited time offer of 48 months, no interest on certain models. Amazing savings on the Bernina 570 and 770 Quilter Edition machines with an incredible low price to add embroidery. Great deals on suitcase systems and big books to help with quilting, serging, and embroidery. Get this. Buy the Bernina 590 or 790 Pro and get free gift bundles worth over $3,600. Bernina quilting machines are simply the best and save thousands of dollars in May while they last. Come in now for bargains on trade-ins, classroom, and demo machines that come with warranties. Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo. Dave'sBernina.com.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
Stop for a moment and think about this. Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money. But do you have a plan to help make sure you don't pay more than you should? At Capital Wealth Advisors, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you've earned, which is why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So call the Capital Wealth Advisors team today so you don't miss out on this opportunity. 801-210-5500. That's 801-210-5500. You work hard for your money, and we'll work just as hard to help you keep it. Capital Wealth Advisors, 801-210-5500. Advisory services offered through Capital Wealth Advisors, LLC, a state of Utah registered investment advisor. Firm may not give tax advice.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimers.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Hit it.
It's time to spring into summer with Soda Weight Loss, because right now you'll get our biggest discount of the year.
Are you serious? Yeah! Just 3 weeks in, and the pounds are dropping off very quickly. I am down 26 pounds in 3 weeks.
Every single day, Soda Weight Loss is helping people let go of the weight without drugs, without hunger, and the weight stays off.
I let go of 50 pounds. It felt unreal. I was so proud of myself. My body did exactly what it wanted to do. I just gave it its tools.
Let's spring into summer right now with Soda Weight Loss. If you want to look like this for summer, now is the time to join America's #1 weight loss company for client satisfaction and results.
Remember, this is our best offer of the year, so let's go.
Get started now at sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Take note, the warmer weather has brought with it a rash of auto pedestrian accidents in the last few weeks. Utah Highway Safety Office says there have already been 56 auto pedestrian hit and run accidents this year. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff spoke with a Davis County crossing guard who wants to remind drivers that school is still in session.
Be extra cautious. Just be alert. Put all the distractions away when you're in a school zone. You just never know what those kids are going to do. They're going to drop something. They're going to roll a ball into the street. They're going to jump out for no reason. You just constantly have to be watching.
Tracy Peterson says besides slowing down and looking from side to side for kids, drivers need to take a minute and think about the length of time they stop for crossing children.
In most school zones, you'll find the zebra or ladder crosswalk, the big stripes across the crosswalk. And when you come to those stop walks or crosswalks, you are required to stop if there's a pedestrian in the crosswalk or looks like they're about to enter a crosswalk. And you also have to wait until they have completely exited the crosswalk. In a parallel crosswalk, which is going to be at a normal intersection, a less busy intersection, it's just the straight line at the top and the bottom of where you are. You just need to stop, and once they have crossed to the other half of the crosswalk, if it's safe, you can continue forward.
You can tell that she's at a busy intersection. She says sometimes drivers scare her because they're in a rush and enter the crosswalk while the kids or even she is still in it.
I was actually just picking up my cones ready, to end for the morning, and a truck just didn't want to stop. I was coming in front of them, and they just kept going right next to me. It didn't matter that, I was a foot or two away from them. So, yeah, it's very upsetting. No eye contact, no even like, oh, hey, sorry, I didn't see you. Just, I'm ignoring you. You're invisible to me. They know that technically there is enough space. They're not going to hit you. But you don't know that. It's very intimidating when a car is, even if they're going the 25 or whatever, the 20 of the speed zone, it doesn't feel safe when a car is going right past you with only a foot or two between you.
She says even the kids need reminders of crosswalk safety because for many of them, they've been dropped off and picked up from school throughout the winter.
You just suddenly have a lot more kids crossing, especially in the afternoon. Sometimes you'll get kids dropped off in the morning, but they walk home. And maybe they haven't done it all winter, and so they're just coming back for the nice weather. And so, they don't remember the rules. They're not as fresh. They'll kind of forget to wait for you. They'll kind of rush out. And so it's a little bit more crazy, just the number of kids, and then the some who just don't remember the rules. And then you have some, they're going home with their friends after school. They don't normally cross at all. So they're just, ready to go and cross and don't know how I do things at my crosswalk. Every crossing guard does things a little bit differently. I know when I have subs come, if I'm sick or take a day off, it does throw everyone off just a little bit because they're used to the way I interact at the intersection.
And her biggest gripe is that drivers don't think it's important to let her know what they're planning to do.
Definitely make eye contact. Make sure that we both see each other. Use your blinkers. That's one of my biggest gripes is so many drivers in a school zone simply just don't use their blinkers. And then I'm trying to guess and not knowing exactly which way they're going. And I may make the wrong choice, or sometimes they will turn it on, as they're turning.
She understands where drivers are coming from. We're all busy. The end of the school year, it brings a lot of extra things, and the nice weather is also a factor.
It's not just the kids who have spring fever. We all do, right? We're, especially parents, teachers, anyone. We're all excited for the warm weather. We're excited for summer break, to be with our kids, to, do more fun things. And so we're all more distracted. I mean, I've been a distracted driver. Everyone has. No one is immune from it. And we just don't want to let that distraction be the one time it causes irreparable harm to someone.
Despite distracted drivers, Tracy Peterson says it's worth it. She says for her, the benefits far outweigh the risks.
Being a crossing guard is the best thing ever.
And thank goodness for crossing guards who are willing to stand out on the streets, rain or shine, to protect our kids. We all need to slow down, live in the moment, and make sure that we're aware that with this nice weather, a child could dash out into the street at any moment. Don't forget that you can chime in on how the news stories of the day are impacting your life. Today's question of the day was, what do you hope to see from the new Pope? What direction would you like the Catholic Church to go under the new pontiff? Send us your answer on the KSL News Radio app using the call-in tab, or call us 801-575-4606. Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News. Well, Jeff Kaplan is next.
It's on the way.
Thanks for listening.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. We're at 76 degrees. KSL's top story: the American Pope, who stepped onto the St. Peter's balcony to the cheering you might expect from the Super Bowl. There's the moment, waving at the crowd, Pope Leo XIV, a cardinal who woke up this morning as Robert Francis Prevost. Born in Chicago, he went to college in Philadelphia, served as a missionary for many years in Peru, and was most recently in charge of all Catholic bishops around the world. The first ever American Pope, his ascension, quickly caught the attention of the president.
To have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor.
A great honor. And after that initial reaction,
President Trump posting on social media his congratulations to the new Pope, Pope Leo XIV. The president writing, quote, "It is such an honor to realize he is the first American Pope. What excitement and what a great honor for our country." The president says he looks forward to meeting Pope Leo and says it will be a very meaningful moment. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And the world's first American Pope is putting a spotlight on Chicago's Catholic community. KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce has more.
Pope Leo XIV was born Robert Francis Prevost in Chicago in the baby boom years. His father, a French World War II vet, his mother, an Italian woman. He attended St. Mary of the Assumption Church on Chicago's 137th Street as a boy, got a bachelor's degree in math from Villanova, and then his Master's of Divinity from Chicago's Catholic Theological Union.
Pope Leo also has strong ties to Peru, where he served as bishop for the Catholic Church. So the question was quickly asked, is this new Pope conservative on social issues, or is he liberal? Well, the answer is yes. He's a little bit of both. ABC News contributor Father James Martin actually knows Pope Leo.
He's a very soft-spoken, but I would say firm person. He was confident in his decisions and easy to talk to, and it's quite a surprise.
Salt Lake City's own Bishop Oscar Solis shared what this moment means not just for Utahns, but for those around the world.
An awesome spiritual moment of deep gratitude and great joy, not only for us, but for the whole world.
KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera was at the Cathedral of the Madeleine and joins us live with more. Eric.
Jeff, Bishop Solis had just watched Pope Leo step onto the balcony, streaming it on his phone, when he turned to speak to dozens gathered inside the cathedral. He called the election of an American a historic milestone and pledged the support of the Salt Lake Diocese. Outside, a sixth grade choir class came to mark the moment and shared their reactions.
We walked into history, and my history teacher says, also, white smoke from the Vatican, and history class immediately turned into a watching party.
I don't know what he's going to do, but I hope he carries on, like, the deeds of Pope Francis.
We think it's this guy, and it ended up being, like, a pope that was not on that many lists. He was a very unpopular pick for the Pope.
Since the news broke, locals, students, and tourists have been coming and going, soaking in a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Live, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
Smart kids. KSL News Time 3:03. Lehigh High School was on lockdown for about an hour this afternoon after somebody reported seeing a handgun inside a student's car. Police say the car